One of my early mentors used to always tell me, Alan, never forget your last worst day.
Yeah.
Never forget your last worst day,
Right.
but don't forget that last worst day because you were crying on Wednesday
Yeah.
and Wednesday sucked. So now that it's Friday and you got a fat check and you closed a big job and you want to go home early, Wednesday's just around the corner and next Wednesday's around the corner. So that could be motivation to not settle for anything as well. So I think it goes hand in hand.
Yeah. And and the one thing I would love to normalize to more entrepreneurs, and if you're listening to this, I, j- I still feel like an imposter. I still feel like I have no idea what I'm doing. And despite, coming to a place where people look at it and they're like, wow, you're really successful. How do you do these things? This is, crazy. Like it, I still have that regular feeling on a weekly basis and those thoughts that come up in my head of, you don't know what you're doing. Like there's people way more successful than you, and you're still playing in the tiny little sandbox compared to XYZ. Like your benchmark always increases with you. And as you start growing and as you start developing as an entrepreneur, there's an interesting thing that happens. You realize that in order to grow, you have to experience pain. You have to. And the second you become comfortable and become very happy with your current state, and happiness is different than contentment and fulfillment. I'm talking about just, oh, I can stay right here and be 100% good. You stop growing, and comfort is complacency. So in order to grow, you have to be uncomfortable. In order to do things in order to get places you've never been means doing things you've never done. And that always is going to mean that you're going to have that uneasy feeling of, I don't know what I'm doing, because otherwise you're not entering unknown territory, and unknown territory is where you go to get to the next level because you haven't been there before. So,
Yep.
for me, making that mental connection, that mental bridge, I talk to unbelievably successful people that have, billion-dollar valuations and net worth plus, and they still have those feelings as well. They become very good at pushing that voice down very quickly because they know that it's going to come back around, and they know that this is the path. And the more comfortable you get, the more you just come to terms with that. You don't cycle as long. It doesn't take you days to recover. Maybe it only takes you 5 minutes to recover, but it still happens, and it's still part of the normal process of growth.